Hey everybody, I'm Robert. You know, something funny that we have going on here at Apex is that we've got all these really cool cars around the racetrack, just literally 700 meters up the road. But I'm sitting in one of our junior suites here at Apex. We actually forget that we have a hotel. We have 3 suites, a twin room, a double room, all that are available for rent for anybody that wants to come to the Nurburgring. It doesn't matter if you're driving with our rental cars. It doesn't matter if you're going with our taxi. You could be coming here with your own car. We've got parking, etc. So like I said, it's funny that we have this facility. We do forget about it a lot. It's kind of lost in all of the hype of all the other excitement that we have going on around. So I just wanted to kind of shed a little bit of light on that. Really nice, clean, modern rooms, good internet, etc. So hopefully a nice little getaway when you're not on track. But the topic today, what I want to bring to you is something that has been heavily discussed since I've released my 488 Pista onboard lap and then the video about how we corrected the alignment at Manti Racing. This is in response to a lot of comments about how Ferrari just can't get it right, how they had such a bad setup, what are they doing, blah, blah, blah. There's a couple things at play that we need to keep in mind. I do believe that my alignment and the way that my car was set up from the factory was incorrect as far as how they've been delivering other people's cars. But I do not think that as a whole that it was completely a horrible situation. When a manufacturer builds a car, they have to do one thing, and that's probably the most important thing that they have to do when they build it, is they have to build it safe for the average driver, okay? And if you know about driving on a racetrack or you know about performance driving, understeer is the safest thing you can have, especially in a rear-wheel drive car. If you turn into a turn and you turn in too fast, okay? And if you turn in too fast and your front wheels start sliding, that means that you've broken the limit of traction that your front wheels have. The minute that you apply the brakes, you put more weight on the front of your car, and that ultimately puts more weight on the front tires and gives them more traction. That means that once that happens, the front's going to settle down and it's going to start turning again. So if you're heading off the track and you slam the brakes, which is a person's immediate reaction to do, it's going to settle the front down and turn in. That is something that is going to help the average driver who goes out in a canyon run, a back road run, and gets in over their head. They're going to hit the brakes, and that's going to actually fix the problem, okay? If you set up a car from the factory and that car is perfectly balanced in a way that... Hi, Misha. Would you like to join? Come have a seat, Misha.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Misha Sheridan.
Hi, guys. Hope you're enjoying my new haircut.
Man, this guy went to barber time today.
Yeah.
We were talking about understeer and how it will make you hit a wall.
Yeah. Do I know that? I think I know that. Yeah.
So I was just explaining that when you come into a turn and you hit the brakes, it puts load on the front tires and helps you turn in. And so what it means is that if Ferrari were to build a car that drives the way that I want it to on the Nurburgring, it's not going to have understeer. It's going to have a taste of oversteer. Well, what's going to happen is when I come into a turn, if I come in too fast into this turn, and I all of a sudden find myself in an oh shit situation that I've come in too fast, if I hit the brakes now, it's not going to settle the front and turn. The back end is now going to rotate.
Yep.
Okay? So that's the issue that we have, is that Ferrari can't actually produce a car in the way that I want a car to be delivered to me, because the people that may not have the experience are going to ultimately end up crashing that car, if you would, right? So that's my topic of today's video.
Okay.
See, Misha just tried to call me. You saw me hang up the call because I was doing I was doing the video, and he came in. But so what we did is we went to Manti Racing. You can also see a little bit more detail on Misha's video. We did a pickup video as well. And I think actually today in 1 hour, Misha's point of view video is going to come out on the Ferrari Pista, which this is going to come out later. We don't even know when this video is going to be released. But you can actually go on Misha's channel. I'll link it in here. And there's a really cool POV video where we're running the Pista. And I think we went through quite a bit of traffic.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cars on the track, and you can see how fun the Pista is, how the acceleration works. But yeah,
We should have made a POV where you see actually beforehand how the car reacts to steering inputs.
Yep.
But it was the first time that you actually had a lot of counter steering.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want. I want the car to be set up to where it's a very nice balance. And if you give it power, then it will oversteer if you give it too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to get right on that traction limit so the front end is having as much possible grip and the back end is having as much possible grip, and I want a very balanced car. That's what I prefer. I spend a lot of time with the M4 VLN car. The M4 VLN car, I spend a lot of time dialing in. See, that's the neat thing about a car with adjustable suspension.
Mm-hmm.
See, with the Pista, all we can do is camber, toe, caster, and that's really all we can do, okay? But with the M4, with a true race car or anything with a fully adjustable suspension, we can go into it and we can actually change rebound and compression and things like that. And that will also help understeer and oversteer, because let's say that you want to be able to have more power coming out of the turn. You can let the back end squat more to have a better weight transfer onto the back end, and that will let you apply more power before it kicks out and things like that. So it really is a complicated process, balancing the shocks, the settings, the alignment, and everything like that. But back to the topic is that with the Pista, I do believe 0.8 degrees of camber was less than Ferrari really intended for me to have on the car. So I think that my car was probably 10 to 20% too far on the side of safety, right? And that's why I was so discouraged with the car at the beginning, was because I thought all of a sudden, oh my gosh, this thing sucks. Because I never really thought that the Pista should ever feel like that from the factory, and it immediately blocked my mind to think, oh my gosh, this is crap, you know? And I should have obviously done this alignment a lot sooner, but I was always going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. Misha did videos all the time. Robert, what do you think of the Pista? It's for sale. You know, that's me out the window of the car. And so I never actually gave the car enough of time to say, you know what, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to do the alignment. Yep. I should have done that from day one. I know better. We know that you get a car from the factory, you should always align it right away and get it where you want it to be. But it was exciting. Track's open. I'm going to go take the Pista out. And I was immediately like, oh crap, this sucks. You know, so yeah, so that's really what I wanted to say. Was I don't think that that a lot of people have asked me for the alignment specs of my car. Obviously, you can go on my alignment video and see it, but if you're not really a good driver in the sense that you know what the car is doing and you know your track very well, I wouldn't suggest that you go straight to that setting. It's not that it's hard to drive, but it's something that does get rid of that understeer, which means that you are going to tend to oversteer if you get too happy with the throttle. And so I would hate for somebody to take my alignment settings and go crash their car. That's not what I want to see happen. You can see in the video where I exit the carousel, I gave it some gas and the back end came out. I was able to correct it very quickly. I'm also running with traction control off. That's something else that if you don't know what you're doing behind the wheel, you definitely do not want to run a 488 Pista anywhere, let alone the Nurburgring, with no traction control. The car is brutal in the sense that I talk about all the time. I think you can say as a passenger, you can feel how everything's instant.
Yeah, I think the car is set up in a way that it kind of compensates the understeeringness by having like such a direct throttle response that you're going to be like, oh my God, it's so playful, but it's safe.
Yeah, exactly. And so what happens is if you go out and you do a setup like this and you start jabbing the throttle and just, I'm going to go full throttle here, full throttle there, I'm going to hit the brakes really hard here, the back end will come around. The Speciale was a car that was very playful. You drove it on the track. Yeah. The back end does not want to stay behind you. No. I mean, if you are really on it and you're pushing it, the back end, you trail brake it in, the back end comes around. Then you get on the gas, it comes around more, and it's fun, it's enjoyable. But if you turn all the systems off and you go after it, you really need to be on top of the car. But that also makes for a fun, enjoyable drive. So what I did to the Pista, for me, the way I drive it, I love it. I absolutely, really, really enjoy it. I couldn't be happier with it. I'm not going to take it any further. You know, people have asked, oh, are you going to put, you know, shocks on it? Are you going to let it be the true first Pista MR? We'll put a big GT2 wing on the back. No, I'm not going to take out the stock shocks. Right now, the car is completely within Ferrari spec. The car is actually very close to the 488 Pista that was run on the Sport Auto Test, which did the 7-minute lap. Very, very close in the actual specifications on the alignment. And I'm happy with it. I don't need to go any further with it. The Pista to me is going to be a car that I'm going to take out on a Sunday. There's a lot of cars on track. I'm just going to go have a blast through traffic. That's it. I'm not the type of person that goes after lap records. Misha's been with me. I've never been like, I think we can go faster next lap. I'm always just want to go have a good time and enjoy the car. And that's where the Pista's at right now. Cool. Yeah. So for another thing that's been a big topic in my channel is that I'm going to need to do a lap record in the tractor. Driving fast cars slow lap record. Yeah. So lap record being the slowest lap possible.
Well, I heard George and Tim, they have like a fuel efficiency challenge. You need to stay within 10 minutes lap time, but you need to be
use the lowest fuel
as efficient as possible. So maybe we can participate in that.
Yeah, so now I have to decide if I want to do my driving fast car slow before he does all the mods or after.
Or both to compare.
Yeah, I could do before and after. See what the driving slow characteristics are with suspension and without, right?
Exactly. You can give your input on that. And what you would have changed on that car if you would build it.
I think it's actually pretty cool. It's the funniest thing about the tractor is that when it's idling, it's literally like I wondered how many years is the dash going to stay in the car, because it's like just, you know, and it's pretty intense with that diesel motor, but it's pretty cool. But anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I think that it was a good coincidence that Misha came in and joined the video.
Yeah,
So
you never know. You come in looking for Robert because you need to ask him something, and you get like hear a whole lecture on oversteer and understeer on 48 Pista. That's how things work at Apex. If you want to find out more, book a room here when we don't make a video. And yeah.
All right, guys, take it easy. Bye.